Hello, friends. Have you ever been told you look younger than your age? And maybe you brushed it off, thinking it's just your skincare, good genes, or clean eating. But what if I told you youthfulness is more than what's on your face? In fact, the most powerful age, fears are the ones that don't show up in the mirror. They're in your mindset, your heart, your habits, and your emotional life. Youth isn't about avoiding wrinkles. It's about staying open. It's about resilience. It's about joy. So today, I want to share 7 hidden reasons why you might look and feel younger than you really are, not because of vanity, but because you've done the vulnerable, courageous, and deep work of living fully. If you're the kind of person who's done the healing, who keeps showing up with grace, who dares to play, to rest, to love, you're not just aging well, you're living well, and that, my friend, is the real secret to timelessness. Emotional resilience isn't just about surviving tough moments. It's about what you become on the other side of them. People who look younger than their age often have a deep, invisible strength. They've learned how to recover without closing themselves off. Life has thrown them heartbreak, failure, rejection, and disappointment, but instead of turning bitter, they chose to soften, to heal, and to keep their hearts open. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or unresolved pain, it shows in our posture, our eyes, even in how we walk into a room. Emotional baggage ages us. It wears down our nervous system. It tightens the face, clouds the energy, and hardens the voice. But resilience allows us to release that weight. Resilient people feel pain, but they don't let it define them. They don't numb it or deny it either. Instead, they face it with honesty. They grieve fully. They ask for help. They process instead of suppress, and that very process keeps them emotionally agile. That agility, being able to bend, not break, adds grace to their spirit. In psychology, it's well known that chronic stress and emotional trauma increase cortisol levels, which speeds up physical aging, but resilience lowers that impact. It reduces inflammation in the body and keeps your emotional and physical system balanced. So while others may age from the inside out due to stress, resilient individuals seem to reverse that process, growing wiser but somehow lighter. You've probably met someone who, despite all they've been through, radiates peace. They have laughter in their voice, clarity in their eyes, and presence in their energy. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional resilience in action. They've done the hard work of emotional recovery. They've forgiven. They've let go. They've chosen softness where others chose armor. And because of that, they walk through life with less tension, more flow. And that flow creates an aura of youthfulness that no skincare routine can duplicate. If emotional resilience helps you recover, vulnerability is what keeps you truly alive. And believe it or not, vulnerability might be one of the most underrated secrets to why some people look and feel younger than their age. When we talk about vulnerability, most people think of it as weakness, but in reality, it's the most courageous act of all. Vulnerability means being real, being seen, being open to connection, even when there's no guarantee of acceptance or safety. It's the courage to say, "I love you," first, the strength to ask for help, the bravery to show up as yourself. Now think about the opposite. When you're constantly guarded, when you're afraid to let others in, you build walls. And walls don't just keep others out. They trap your spirit inside. Over time, that emotional armor becomes visible. It shows in a stiff smile, a closed body, a tired soul. But people who live vulnerably age differently. They carry an openness in their eyes. They connect deeply. They're emotionally accessible. And that accessibility is youthful because it keeps the heart moving, growing, stretching. Vulnerability fuels creativity, laughter, intimacy, and love, all of which nourish your mind and body like sunlight nourishes a plant. And scientifically, vulnerability reduces chronic emotional suppression, which is linked to fatigue, depression, and cellular stress. In short, people who let themselves feel fully tend to function better biologically too. Their bodies reflect their inner clarity. There's less internal conflict, less emotional hiding, and more emotional freedom. Brene Brown always says, staying vulnerable is a risk we have to take if we want to experience connection. And connection is essential not just for emotional survival. It's also a major key to staying youthful. When you're connected, you feel seen. When you feel seen, you feel alive. And when you feel alive, your body reflects that aliveness. So people who look younger than their age often aren't the ones trying to protect their image. They're the ones willing to be real. They live soft, not hard, honest, not perfect, brave, not guarded, and that softness, that openness, it keeps them emotionally glowing. Looking younger isn't always about what you eat, what you wear, or how much you exercise. Sometimes it's about how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. People who look youthful often share a surprising inner trait. They treat themselves with kindness. Self-compassion is the quiet, consistent decision to be your own ally instead of your own enemy. It's what you say to yourself when you fail. It's how you hold your heart when you're grieving. It's the tone you use when you look in the mirror on a hard day. And the truth is, the way we treat ourselves literally shapes our biology. Harsh inner criticism keeps your body in a near-constant stress state. It activates your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode, releasing cortisol, the aging hormone. Over time, self-judgment becomes physical tension. It wears on your sleep, your skin, your immune system, even your posture. But self-compassion, it regulates your nervous system. It allows your body to rest, your heart to soften, and your mind to recover. It quiets your inner war, and this peace, not perfection, is what gives people that unshakable glow. Those who are self-compassionate don't pretend everything is fine. They simply give themselves grace when it's not. They speak like a friend to themselves. They say things like, "I'm allowed to rest. I did my best today. This is hard, but I'm still worthy." That inner dialogue becomes emotional oxygen, and it shows. These people smile with authenticity. They don't carry the weight of shame in their eyes. They aren't trying to hide behind a mask of confidence. They are growing from within. Their softness isn't weakness. It's power that's been refined by empathy. In a world that constantly tells us we're not enough, too old, too late, too slow, self-compassion is rebellion, and people who live in that kind of radical self-kindness, they age differently. They radiate calm. They carry themselves with gentleness. They look rested, not just physically, but spiritually, and in that rest, they rediscover their glow. One of the clearest signs of a youthful spirit is the ability to experience unfiltered, unapologetic joy. Not the kind you post online to prove you're happy, but the real, soul, deep joy that bubbles up when you sing in the car, dance in the kitchen, or laugh so hard you forget what you were even laughing at. People who look younger than their age don't just seek joy, they allow it. They give themselves permission to feel good without guilt, without waiting for the right time, and without feeling like they need to earn it. They understand that joy is not some optional bonus after you've completed your to-do list. It's fuel. It's the very thing that keeps your spirit alive and your body vibrant. There's something powerful about someone who knows how to play. Not childishness, but childlikeness. The willingness to be present, curious, and light-hearted. The willingness to drop your guard and just feel the moment. On a physiological level, joy boosts endorphins, reduces inflammation, and relaxes the muscles in your face and body. When you're constantly stressed, your body goes into contraction. Tight jaw, furrowed brow, stiff shoulders. But when you're joyful, your body opens up, your face softens, your energy expands, and that openness. That vitality, it reads as youth, but here's the catch: many adults feel guilty for feeling good. We've been conditioned to think rest is laziness, that play is irresponsible, and that we must be serious to be taken seriously. So we suppress joy, we silence laughter, we postpone happiness until everything's done, and everything is never done. That's why the people who allow joy stand out. They glow not because they have fewer problems, but because they've learned to make space for joy in the middle of the chaos. They understand that joy doesn't distract from healing. It is part of the healing. And when you build a life that welcomes joy, not as an escape, but as a regular rhythm, your entire being reflects that. You walk lighter, you smile deeper, you move through the world with the kind of quiet happiness that can't be faked. That joy becomes your signature, and it's one of the clearest reasons people stop and say, "Wow, you seem so much younger than your age." There is a distinct difference between people who are driven by pressure and those who are led by purpose. Pressure creates stress, purpose creates energy, and that energy, it's one of the most profound reasons why some people look younger than they really are. People who live under constant pressure often carry invisible weights, unrealistic expectations, comparison, the fear of failure, the need to prove their worth. Over time, this wears them down. It shows in their face, their eyes, their posture. They may still be high achievers, but emotionally, they're exhausted. Spiritually, they're empty. But people who live with purpose radiate something different. They may work just as hard, but they're fueled, not forced. Their energy flows from alignment, not anxiety. Purpose gives meaning to effort. It adds soul to routine. It transforms even the smallest tasks into something sacred, something worthwhile. When you have a purpose, whether it's raising a child, creating art, helping others, or simply showing up authentically, your life has direction. That direction reduces mental clutter and increases emotional clarity. And clarity creates calm, and calm creates beauty. This is why people with purpose tend to look and feel younger. They're not always rushing. They're not always trying to catch up or catch approval. They move with intention. Their eyes don't dart with panic. They focus with presence. Their bodies don't carry tension. They carry commitment, and commitment to purpose brings peace. Even biologically, purpose has a role in youthfulness. Studies have shown that individuals with a strong sense of purpose live longer, have better immune function, and even show slower biological aging. Why? Because purpose brings fulfillment, and fulfillment protects us from the stress that drains vitality. And purpose doesn't have to be grand. It's not about having a perfect 5-year plan. It can be quiet and personal. It can be the way you care for your garden, the way you show up for your family, the way you create, speak, lead, or love. People who live with purpose carry a soft focus. They don't panic when things go wrong. They adapt because they know why they're here. That kind of grounded presence is magnetic. It creates grace. It creates strength. And most of all, it keeps you glowing from within, that glow that's not age, defying that's purpose activated. Youthfulness isn't just a matter of appearance. It's deeply tied to what we carry inside. Many people walk through life looking tired not because of age, but because of unhealed pain. Trauma, grief, betrayal, shame. When these wounds go unaddressed, they don't just linger in the mind, they embed themselves in the body. And over time, that weight begins to show. But those who look and feel younger than their age often have one powerful thing in common. They've done the healing. They've faced the hard truths. They've processed the losses. They've stopped running from the past and started making peace with it. Healing isn't about forgetting or pretending something never hurt. It's about honoring what happened while refusing to let it define your future. It's about choosing growth over bitterness, forgiveness over resentment, and freedom over victimhood. And this inner work doesn't just shift your mindset, it transforms your body. Emotional healing reduces cortisol levels, improves sleep, and regulates the nervous system. It helps your body stop bracing for impact and start relaxing into the present. And that physical release, when your jaw unclenches, your shoulders drop, your breath deepens. That's what creates that unmistakable glow. You can see it in people who have healed. Their smiles are real. Their presence is calm. They don't flinch at vulnerability or try to distract from discomfort. They're not perfect, but they're whole. They've reclaimed their power, and it shows. Healing also brings a kind of softness, not weakness, but a gentle strength, the kind that comes from surviving something hard and choosing love anyway. The kind that makes you patient, kind, and self-aware. That softness radiates peace, and peace always reads as youth. Many people age quickly because they're still emotionally carrying what they were never meant to hold forever. But healed people, they've learned to set it down. To say, this happened, but I'm not staying there. And in that release, their face softens, their heart opens, their energy clears, and that clarity, it becomes their light. And it makes them appear timeless. In a world obsessed with hustle, choosing rest isn't just radical, it's regenerative. One of the most overlooked reasons some people look far younger than their years is because they honor their body's natural rhythm. They understand that rest is not laziness, it's life support. People who constantly run on empty, always on, always busy, begin to wear their exhaustion like a second skin. Chronic fatigue shows up in dull eyes, tight muscles, sluggish posture, and a kind of tension that never quite lets go. Over time, this state of constant doing triggers adrenal fatigue, hormonal imbalances, and premature aging. But those who value rest move differently. They live by intention, not reaction. They're not chasing every notification or overloading their calendar to feel important. They protect their peace. They say no to what drains them. They build margins into their life for recovery, physical, emotional, and spiritual. These are the people who will unapologetically take a nap, step away from work, or turn down an invite if it means preserving their energy. And because of that, they recharge, their bodies have time to heal, their minds reset, their nervous system calms, their skin repairs, their hearts recalibrate, and there's another layer. Rest isn't just about sleep, it's about safety. When you truly allow yourself to rest, you're telling your body, we are safe now. That message alone triggers healing processes that your entire system. Rest also reflects a mindset of self-worth. People who believe they have to earn their right to rest usually struggle with burnout. But people who see themselves as inherently worthy of care make time for it. That self-respect reflects in how they carry themselves, grounded, centered, calm. Ironically, rest is what makes your work more powerful, your relationships more present, and your body more youthful. It's in the stillness that our energy refills, our vision returns, and our soul rebalances. So yes, some people look younger not because they've found a magical product, but because they've learned to disconnect to reconnect. They understand that being well, rested isn't a luxury. It's a sacred rhythm. You can eat clean, exercise daily, and take all the right vitamins. But if you're constantly surrounded by negative, draining people, it will still show on your face and in your energy. On the other hand, people who look younger than their age often have something powerful protecting them, a circle of life, giving energy. The truth is, energy is contagious. Every conversation, every interaction, every shared silence either lifts you up or pulls you down. People who seem ageless understand this. They guard their environment like their vitality depends on it, because it does. They intentionally choose relationships that nourish their spirit, not deplete it. Friends who celebrate their growth, not resent it. Partners who bring peace, not chaos. Workspaces that inspire, not suffocate. Their inner circle isn't just supportive, it's sacred. Why? Because chronic emotional stress, especially the kind that comes from toxic environment, sages you. It floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. It keeps your nervous system in overdrive. It steals your sleep, clouds your thoughts, and tightens your muscles. And over time, it begins to erode your natural glow. But when you are surrounded by people who see you, hear you, encourage you, and hold you accountable to your best self, your entire being changes. You feel lighter, you laugh more, you speak more freely. Your face relaxes, your shoulders drop, you look more like you. People who look younger often radiate this unspoken sense of safety, not because life is perfect, but because their boundaries are. They've learned to step back from energy that drains and lean into energy that fuels. They know that every no to chaos is a yes to calm, and calm, as it turns out, is deeply youthful, and it's not about only having happy people around. It's about emotional alignment, being in the company of those who choose growth, love, depth, and truth. People who don't need you to shrink to feel comfortable. People who reflect your light back to you. That environment becomes a kind of wellness, not just emotionally, but biologically. And when you're consistently in spaces where your soul can breathe, you start to glow from the inside out. If there's one thing almost all youthful people have in common, it's this: they laugh. Not just polite chuckles or filtered smiles for a photo, but full, full-bodied tear, streaming can't catch your breath kind of laughter. And it's not a coincidence. They've tapped into one of the most natural, free, and effective forms of anti-aging there is: joyful expression. Laughter isn't just emotional, it's physiological. It boosts oxygen flow, reduces stress hormones, increases immune function, improves circulation, and even tones your facial muscles. That natural glow you see after a good laugh, that's your body flooding itself with life. But there's something even deeper at work here. Laughter is a sign of emotional freedom. To laugh freely, you have to let go for a moment of control, perfection, fear of judgment. You have to surrender to the joy of the moment, however small or silly. And that surrender is deeply rejuvenating. People who look younger aren't laughing because life is always easy. They're laughing because they've made a conscious decision. Not everything has to be heavy. They've learned to find light in the ordinary, to poke fun at their own mistakes, to find relief in laughter after tears. That balance is powerful. A youthful heart isn't one that avoids pain. It's one that knows how to bounce back. And humor is one of the quickest ways we return to ourselves after loss, conflict, or fear. It reminds us that we're still alive, still human, still connected, and laughter also builds resilience in relationships. People who laugh together create emotional safety together. That safety builds connection, and connection builds peace, and peace, that's the secret thread behind most youthful souls. You can spot someone like this in any room. They smile with their whole face. They bring ease wherever they go. Their presence says, it's okay to breathe here. It's okay to be real. And here's the best part. Laughter doesn't cost a thing. It's not something you have to chase. It's something you let rise when you stop taking everything, including yourself, so seriously. So yes, people who laugh more often age more slowly, not because they're in denial, but because they've learned the most graceful secret of all. Sometimes joy is medicine. And laughter is the glow you wear when your soul is at rest. If there's a hidden fountain of youth, curiosity is it. People who look and feel younger than their years often move through life with the why, dyed wonder of someone still discovering the world, not someone who's already figured it out. Curiosity is the mindset of growth. It keeps your brain active, your perspective fresh, and your heart open. When you're curious, you ask questions instead of assuming. You explore instead of retreating. You learn for the love of learning, not just for achievement or validation. This constant engagement with life keeps your spirit agile, and your appearance energized. There's a youthful spark in people who are always discovering something new. Whether it's learning a new language, picking up an instrument, trying a new recipe, or simply asking deep questions, they stay mentally, emotionally, and spiritually flexible. And that flexibility matters more than we think. Why? Because stagnation ages us. Routine without wonder dries out our passion. But curiosity keeps the soul moisturized with possibility. It's not just about interests, either. It's how you relate to life. Curious people approach relationships with openness. What else can I learn about this person? They approach challenges with innovation. What's another way I could solve this? They meet change not with dread, but with engagement. What might this teach me? This mindset affects the brain, too. Curiosity strengthens neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to adapt and grow. It improves memory, reduces cognitive decline, and boosts creativity. And that mental sharpness, it shows in your eyes, your posture, your tone. It's visible energy. But perhaps most important of all, curious people radiate humility. They aren't jaded. They don't believe they've seen it all, done it all, or know it all, and that humility is refreshing. It's magnetic. It invites connection and makes every interaction feel lighter, brighter, more alive. So when someone seems younger than their age, it might not be their skincare routine. It might just be the fact that they're still growing, still exploring, still delighting in the mystery of life. Because in the end, youth isn't a number. It's the courage to stay open to life, to love, to learning. So maybe it's not about genetics. Maybe it's not about expensive creams or chasing some impossible standard of beauty. Maybe, just maybe, youth is something you cultivate from the inside out. It's in the way you protect your peace, the way you honor your healing, the way you laugh with abandon and love with intention. It's in choosing joy over judgment, purpose over pressure, and curiosity over certainty. You look younger because you've chosen to live lighter, to release what no longer serves you, to water your spirit daily with compassion, playfulness, and growth, and that choice it shows in your glow, in your grace, in the quiet confidence you carry. So the next time someone says, "You don't look your age," smile gently and know they're seeing the result of deep, soul-level work. They're witnessing the power of a life well lived and well loved.